our person helping with Japanese today, Mr. Felix. Can you say hi?
Hello. こんにちは。今日は日本語訳をやらせていただきます。
Thank you. And we have Flo and Blaise in Iwakuni.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
So maybe start with you guys, Flo and Blaise. Could you guys explain a little bit about how you got started with your garden?
Sure. So I've been growing herbs in containers for at least 15 years now, I'd say. And then we were able to buy the house that we're in now just June last year, moved in July 20th. And we had intended on starting with just an herb garden. And then the more we were here in the space, realized that we could grow stuff, food, many more things.
Yeah, garden wasn't planned. We were going to have a place we have a barbecue grill and some place to grow some basil. And then we're like, we have a lot more room. Let's just throw a bunch of crap out there. And then, in retrospect, I wish we could have planned it a little better, but
it's going all right.
It's going good now. We're having fun doing it. How's that?
Wow, that's good.
フローとブレイズさんはガーデニングをやっていて、15年間ハーブを栽培してたけど、6月に新しく入った家ではハーブガーデンを始めて、でももっと作れるでしょって思って、いろいろ違う作物を育て始めました。
Does that sound right, Flo and Blaise? You agree with that?
Yeah,
it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we started, we chose certain vegetables that didn't require a lot of space, like onions or carrots, stuff that, that fruit, beans, tomatoes. We started with those, got comfortable, and then now we have various things. We expanded to leaf lettuces, everything from chard to spinach.
This morning I counted the plants that were either like productive in some way, either herbs or just straight edible things by themselves, and we have at least 55 different kinds of plants in the garden.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, let's look at your garden. You sent me pictures from the start of the garden. This, I think, is the first picture that you sent. So this is before you really started.
We have to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an open space. You were talking yesterday a little bit about it being really rocky. Lots of rocks was the first hurdle.
So the base ground here was not designed for gardening in any sense. It's basically just powdered concrete. And then this house was reformed before we purchased it. So basically they took the house, the old roof or a shed. I'm not sure what it was. They just broke it and then just buried it in the dirt. So there's nothing but granite and huge pebbles. And then, we find roofing tiles every now and then when we start digging into the dirt. So
there's screws, there's glass, there's all kinds of stuff.
But I mean, nonetheless, the ground, by looking at it, we know it's not plantable dirt. So we've had to do it slowly, because it can get financially expensive. So we started with some compost.
Looking at the photos, is the first one, and then we can see the second one. So you've started developing the areas, started taking out the rocks, started buying soil, you said, right?
A bit, yes.
So you were
the bagged compost that you can get out there.
Right. So you were spending, what'd you say, about 10,000 yen a month? Was it?
Yeah. Yes. If I don't include stuff like buying a picnic table and tiles for the places that were just dirt. Yeah.
So it's quite a big investment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is, but when you consider it a hobby, there's a lot of things that can be compared. I do a lot of hobbies, and they can get just as expensive, if not more.
That's true.
For me, when I compare it to how much I used to spend on going out in Hiroshima, this is cheap.
That's true. And you feel like you've got better quality of life because you're growing some of your own herbs or vegetables and just being out gardening especially now
Oh.
when you're stuck indoors for coronavirus, is it helps in that way?
Oh, God, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that if I didn't have this garden, I would lose it. And besides, even before the coronavirus, like I sort of transitioned from going out less to wanting to spend more time at home. And this was part of that natural transition. I just actually get a lot more out of this in general.
Great.
Yeah.
Felix, you
It's
want to
not-
have a go at that?
Yeah.
That was a long one.
ブレイズさんの家の庭がまず
Oh,
とても
okay. You froze for a little bit.
栽培
I think you're back.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
栽培できる状況じゃなかったので、まずはコンポストとか土を買ってその農地を作り、そこからいろいろ地面を改善していった上で物を栽培するようになりました。そして今のこのコロナで外に出られない時期では本当にいいもので外に出ることで、そういい
Hello. Okay, so Thomas is there. Thomas, we're just talking with Flo and Blaise right now, and we'll keep you on standby.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Continue, Felix.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good timing. Good timing. Thomas, you want to just say hi?
Hello. Konnichiwa. Hi. Hello.
I'm glad it stopped raining.
It's still raining here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's raining here
The
too.
farm. But yeah.
Okay. So Flo and Blaise are in Iwakuni,
Okay.
and they were just explaining about their garden a little bit, how they got started,
Mhm.
and how they're developing it over time. Since we've got you on, do you want to explain a little bit about how you got set up with Pitchfork?
Yes. I've been working in Japan for the last 9 years. I've had my farm kind of off and on. Pen. We also keep chickens in our larger pen. And then we'll move a garden project. When I was an English teacher, I really wanted to grow my own food. And I was inspired by the work of Fukuoka Masanobu, which was required reading in my sustainable agriculture course at Appalachian State University.
Yeah, so I'm holding it so that
when I was applying for the JET
it does
program,
pop back to us. It's not something
I was really keen on either going to Hokkaido or to Shikoku, someplace with, really lots of nature. And I ended up in Hiroshima and Onomichi, which happens to be about an hour from Fukuoka-san's first farm. So a lot of the crops and the plants that he talks about and growing methods that he talked about in his books and in the first book, One Straw Revolution, and several books after that, has inspired me to do the farm here and look at more of a no-till approach and looking at a few different more natural farming methods for growing the food that we do.
Yeah, that's great. Can we show some of your farm? I've got pictures of your farm here.
Pen. We also keep chickens in our larger pen, and then we'll move this, and you can see like the chickens were here and here in the last few days, and so the grasses here are now gone or dead. They've also scratched at the soil. Just before this, we have sheep. We have our sheep are up there now, and the sheep were brought in this area. We fenced it off, and we just let the sheep run free because it got really weedy over the summer. And this was like a really weedy pumpkin patch. And the sheep don't eat the pumpkins, so they can control the weeds without eating the pumpkins. We come through, harvest all the pumpkins. We just dug out as we prepare to go into the summer and the rainy season. We've dug out the chicken coop now, and then we have it on kind of standby for compost for the next few months, and then we'll use that in the fields at some point.
Okay, that I should have stopped earlier. That was a lot of great information. Should we get a little translation going?
So is the Pitchfork Thomas's farm? Is it?
Yeah, Pitchfork Farms. That's the name of our farm.
Pitchfork Farms. Okay. OK。トマスさんはピッチフォークファームという農場をやっていて、まずなんで農場を始めたかというと、今8から9年ぐらいやってやらなくてで、自分の農場をやっていて、まず青年期に自家栽培をして自分で食べ物を作って自分で食べたいっていう思いがあり、ジェットプログラムに入った時に北海道など秋田とかに行きたかったけれども、最終的に広島の尾道に農場を作ることになって、で最初は趣味程度で始まったんですが、この農場が福岡さんというとても有名な研究者の農家の本とかを読んでて、その農場に近いっていうことから、ノーティル、地面を掘り起こさない方法で農業をしようとしている。で、そして鶏も農場にいて、そう鶏からは卵と肉で、肉は全部自分たちで殺してプロセッシングしていて、後の鶏の糞などを養分としてコンポストなどに入れてます。
How's that sound, Thomas? Did he get it?
Perfect. 完璧。
ありがとう。
So I think an interesting thing about your farm, which of course most home gardeners like Flo Blaise or myself and even John don't have, is balancing between the animals and your farming. Can you talk a little bit about the goats and sheep and chickens?
Yeah, we've always had goats on the property, going back 7 years now, and a lot of that was the initial weed management. There's so many and so much weed pressure, as many of you may know. In Japan, it's hot and it's humid, and having animals on our farm in the initial stages was crucial to really cleaning and clearing what was once an abandoned orchard, citrus orchard. So I can certainly recommend, maybe not for all gardeners or even home gardeners, to have goats or sheep, because there are a lot of maintenance after you've cleared all the weeds, especially on the food that they require. But looking at what a lot of farms can are able to do, having goats and sheep, in a community even could be a great resource, especially for getting those weeds out and having a place to put them instead of having them burnt or sent off, because they really do a great job to keep everything at bay during those hot and humid months. And so they've been really crucial to our farm. And as we explore new territory around our property, we're on about an acre. We would like to go further up into the hills, and so using the goats and sheep would be crucial there for that management.
All right, translator, you ready for that?
Hey, how big's an acre?
Yeah, I guess
like 4,050 meters.
I think hectare. I think it's like a half hectare. It's really kind of difficult to judge because up in the hills too, we have other land, and the previous landowner doesn't even quite know the size of the land. So, but I'd say it's a half hectare.
Okay.
Yeah.
まずジョイさんは Did you ask how could home gardeners do their gardening better?
I mentioned because what Thomas is doing is a professional farm, but most home gardeners, of course, we don't use animals as a part of our garden system, but the way he's doing farming is a balance between animals and vegetables, which works together nicely.
Okay. なのでトマスの農場では動物と食物のバランスがあって、7年前からヤギを飼ってたのですよ。 で、ヤギを飼う理由としては、最初の方は雑草のマネージメント。雑草を燃やしたり、どっかに預けたりするよりも、雑草をそのヤギの食料として、その土地を整備するのはとても大事なことです。で、まず農場はもともとシトラス果樹園だったので、それをきれいにするためにヤギを使って、でもメンテナンス、ヤギの雑草を食べた後のメンテナンスが多いので、個人ではなくコミュニティとかより大きな農場で飼った方がよくて、これからは今半ヘクタールぐらいの土地を持ってて、でもどんどん山に入っていきたいから、その時もヤギが大切になってきます。
Does that sound, Thomas?
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
So let's cut back now to Flo and Blaise and have a look at their garden. Looks nice and sunny there in your garden now. Flo and Blaise, you want to give us a little introduction?
庭を見てみましょう。
So the whole yard was just a strip of dirt and rocks when we got here, and there was this mound in the back that Blaise sort of kind of landscaped into sort of terraces, and that's mostly herbs. There's potatoes back there, fennel, mint, 2 kinds of elderberry, cherry tomatoes, lavender, biwa, and some others, vetiver, lemongrass, other stuff back there. We're growing some
amazing. It looks great. How many hours a day do you figure you're spending on it?
When we moved in and I had summer vacation, I didn't take a trip this year. I was spending 3 to 4 hours. We were.
Yeah, for the most part, like shooting landscaping or even the building the boxes, we kept it to about 2 to 3 hours a day. Usually on the weekends alone. And then if anything we did after work stuff, it would be anywhere from a half hour to an hour at the most.
How about you? How about you, Thomas? How does that compare to a professional farmer? How many hours a day do you have to farm?
You know, it really depends on the projects we have going. Recently, we've had friends come by. I know right now it's kind of the busy season for a lot of farms. Seeding, transplanting. And we're lucky in the fact that it's quite warm in our region, so we can harvest year round. So if we're busy doing all of those, we can have, sometimes 8 to 10. I think even the last few weeks we've done it, like we put in some 12-hour kind of days, which is getting up, starting early and then, working into the evening just to get everything kind of ready, I guess, so to speak.
So you're more in a work to live or live to work situation.
Yeah.
It's kind of both.
It's kind of both right now. But we're, I think a lot of farms, and I listen to a lot of different podcasts and farmer focused podcasts, and really trying to have 1 or 2 days where you're not doing that, because it's it's physically demanding, it's mentally can be exhausting. So having some days where you can balance that is really important. So there's some days where beyond feeding, making sure the animals are fed, that maybe we don't do seeding or transplanting on those days. And of course it's very much it's very much dependent on the weather and what we can get done then. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Thomas, did you see the pictures? Can you see of Flo and Blaise's garden? Is there anything that you would suggest, or you want to comment on their garden at all?
Oh, it looks great. Yeah, it's like elderberry. That's people make syrups and things right now, right? With that, I understand that's a pretty it has a lot of like vitamins and good. Like, isn't it used for syrups though? That got me because I hadn't seen that plant, and I know a lot of people are now with everything going on with the coronavirus. It's a great immune booster from what I've heard. But
Don't
I've
they
never
put
seen those
elderberry in
plants.
alcoholic drinks? Like elderberry cocktail or something? Am I thinking of something else?
Well, no. So I've been interested in elderberry for a long time, but it grows really big. So there was no way I could have ever grown it. And there's enough space back there that if even both of those plants were to get large, it would be okay. And it would provide a sort of barrier to the backyard of those people behind us there. But yeah, it's supposed to have great immune system boosting qualities. And that is one of the inspirations for the garden originally. It was only to grow plants that were usable in some way for us in an herbal sense, or that would attract bees and pollinators.
Yeah, that's I can see all the different all the different varieties of things you have going on there, and that's awesome.
Potatoes over
that's
there.
what you want. I think Japan farms, gardens, yards in general, when we compare them to the rest of the world, are still quite small, and maximizing your production means companion planting, and I can see y'all are doing a lot of that, and that's really important. And I one thing I don't see is a lot of black plastic mulch. Why is that? Why did just a curious question. Are y'all trying to minimize that in the garden, or is that something you've worked with or used before? Because I know it's very common in Japan.
Well, I'm fairly anti-plastic in the first place, and
Gotcha.
then we did buy what's it called, like a wood chipper?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you can't see it now, but we didn't have enough wood to chip, but there was a fair amount of mulching wood chip stuff that was out here earlier this year that's kind of fallen into the ground and stuff.
Oh, it goes away quick,
It does.
The mulching and wood chips. It's like, where did it all go? And it literally is breaking down into the soil and the fungus, the microbes, the different bugs. They're all consuming it. And we use a lot of wood chips as well. I can't see it as well, but that's great. That's really awesome.
Yeah, you can see a little bit over here that's still, like on the ground, whatever.
Awesome.
But when we first moved in, this space was completely just covered in black plastic. There was nothing here.
I see.
There was absolutely nothing, and so
it looks so nice. What a nice space.
Thank you. Thank you. It makes us really happy. But then also, especially, I find the weeding very therapeutic.
Yeah. It certainly is. Yeah.
Can we just get the translator in for a little minute? Sorry.
Oh, sure.
I forgot about you for a minute, Felix. Just pick up some points you thought was interesting. You don't have to translate everything.
OK。フローとブレイズは休日に2から3時間ぐらい1日に自分の庭で働く庭の仕事をしてて、でトマスさんは8から10時間、日によっては12時間もやることがあるけど、1から2日ぐらいちょっと休む日も設けるのが大切で、その時はシーディングなど移植を省いて最低限のことをしたりするみたいです。で、出てきたエルダーベリーはシロップなどビタミンで豊富で、今とても多くの人が栽培してるらしいです。そして日本の庭は小さいからコンパニオンプラントっていう複数の植物を一緒に育てることによってその農場がもっと強くなるから、その方法とモルチングって言ってプラスチックのような素材の黒いものをよく 日本では敷いてるらしいけど、それを使いたくないからウッドチップを使ってるけど、すぐになくなるらしい。で、そのモルチングによって、その土の中の微生物とか、ファンガス、そのキノコ的な微生物がそれを食べて土が栄養分が良くなるという方法です。
In terms of companion planting, we haven't been able to get John on this call so far. I'm still hoping he'll be able to get on at some point. But in my conversation with him the other day, he talked about the three sisters. Now, I'm sure Thomas also knows this. Native Americans always planted three plants together. Is that right? Corn, beans, and squash?
Yeah, that works and can work really well. We've done it. Did it last year with corn and beans, and I've done it in previous years, and we have plans to do it again as well this year. I've already seeded some corn and seeded soybeans next to it, but oftentimes they'll use some climbing beans to grow, and then the squash kind of grows out laterally and covers up the weeds. I think the timing is pretty crucial when you do it, but there's so many other plants too that the companion planting can be really successful, like basil and tomatoes. Right now, I can show you. We have onions, and they'll be harvested maybe in like the next month or 2 months, and in between that, just in the walkways, we have cauliflower growing.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And
that looks
brassicas, and it's because I'm not really going to be walking. I might do a little bit of weeding. I've done some succession weeding in this space, in these onions, but I'm not going to be doing so much walking there. So there's, taking advantage of the space, and that's one of the other advantages of maybe not using plastic, because you can't, if your main crop is going to be onions, you'd punch holes through that and just grow onions there. But then you've lost space for other plants and other things to grow in that space. So we're trying to take advantage of minimizing the amount of mulching with plastic and using the plants to kind of work together, and I think it can be a great technique for farms and gardens alike.
Yeah.
When Felix is done translating that, I have something to say about the timing of the companion sister planting.
Okay. Did you try that, Flo? Did you try the companion sisters?
Oh yeah, we're trying as much as possible to do every plant we're planting, we make sure it's supposed to be okay. But yes, timing wise, we thought we had beans, but these are snow peas. In the end, and the corn didn't sprout at the same time. So down there's corn. It's the peas are not growing up the corn, and back there at the very bottom there's a bit of squash, and it's not growing at the same pace.
Oh.
So I think it'll be fine in the end, but it's not quite doing the three sisters climbing and covering thing that we had hoped it would do.
Yeah. So sometimes things sound so good in books or in theories, and they just don't seem to work for your individual situation, right?
Well, we can have this better next year. I mean, this is our first time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any advice there, Thomas?
Well, certainly in the summertime, you're going to be better off. I think it's typically a summer kind of rotation, or a summer crop planting. So yeah, if you want to do the three sisters, I think maybe similar to how the Native Americans would have done, or other groups, getting the corn in and the beans about the same time. I think from April or May, even planting them together.
So it might be worth trying again, just at different timing.
Absolutely.
When did you try it, Flo?
Well, we did plant all the seeds at the same time this time, but the corn didn't go.
Huh.
It but maybe it was just too early in the year. We had a weird temperature drop that stunted everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think because corn, if you're in Iwakuni, right? So corn you can be planting corn from March, April, and May, and also into June and July for some farms, and then you would also be seeding your beans in about April or May as well. I guess you seeded those peas in January or February, or even prior to that?
I'm going to say mid-March.
Mid-March, I'd say.
Okay.
Like they just shot up.
Really
I was like, Jack and the Beanstalk, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, you want to get in there and translate a little bit?
Sure. So, companion planting から派生して、スリーシスターズというネイティブアメリカンが使っていた農法で、コーンとスクワッシュと豆を一緒に栽培することによって、その植物がお互いを助け合ってちょうどいい環境が出来上がるというお互いの性質が尊重し合う農法です。で、トーマスが言っていたのはバジルとトマトもいいペアだし、今自分の農場ではオニオンの間にコリフラワーを植えていて、その日本の庭とか農地が小さいゆえにスペースを最大限に使うことがとても大切で、このコンパニオンプランティング、そしてスリーシスターズの農法ではタイミングがとても大切で、フローの農場では豆がとてもよく生えていて、コーンとスクワッシュが追いついてないから、トーマスさんはコーンと豆は同じくらいのタイミングで植えて、スクワッシュを少し後で入れた方がいいと言っています。
Okay, back to you, Flo. You were saying you wanted to talk more. You got your companion plant info in already.
Yep. So our two most productive things have been basil and cilantro. We had just so much basil last year. It was awesome. And I had tried to grow cilantro for years and never had any success with it. But this year and last year, it just couldn't get, it grew all winter long even. And this one last plant that's flowering, we've let it go into seed, is last year's plant. We pulled out the other ones, and these are new ones here.
Well, I know, Thomas, you have both exposed areas and covered areas where you farm. Do you find that useful for farming year-round?
Yeah, it's having the greenhouse on the property for us has been really important. Previously, we didn't have the plastic on it. I think it was this past season, last year, we actually were able to put it up. And that really helps getting a lot of our starts going early too, because we start a lot of our own plants. And we even have put in a greenhouse within our greenhouse, or a small starting plot within our greenhouse, and that's also helped to get certain plants, especially the temperature sensitive plants, because things like tomatoes need about 20 degrees Celsius, chili peppers 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, and eggplants as well 25 to 30 degrees Celsius for germination. So for them to even come out of the ground, they need a little bit of bottom heat, and so we're able to use that and then use the growing space inside to get things early. I know farms that are starting tomatoes in as far north as Canada, and they're starting their tomatoes seedlings in January.
Wow.
And that's really great, because then they can get an earlier harvest once those long daylight hours come in later in May and June. And for us as doing more commercial production, if we can be early for some of those crops, it really adds to our business when we can actually sell those crops.
Yeah.
So having our greenhouse right now, I can flip it around. This is our greenhouse right now.
Wow, it looks really good. A lot bigger than when I saw you. You've got bigger plants maybe.
I mean, all the plants have really taken off. I think you were here, what was it, September or October?
I can't remember. It was absolutely beautiful and warm, but it might have been September, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the summertime, like especially July and August, it's hard to get stuff into the ground at that time because it's just so hot. Some things, they bolt or they'll germinate. But right now, we've got a bunch of successions going in, and we're getting ready to transition. I mean, now to a lot of summer crops in the greenhouse, and we think with the extra heat in here, we'll really be able to get the plants going early, get them much bigger early. And then inside here, all of our starts are going. So we've got several trays of kind of your brassica, like your cabbages, your mizuna, different types of bok choy as well, and then some peppers, tomato starts, and then we've got all of our lettuces going over here as well. And they're getting started in here, and then we'll be transplanting them out into the field here in the next few days, I think.
So I notice you start in seed trays, right? You have little containers.
Yeah, we've changed up. We've changed up our planting methods over the course of several years. We do a lot of container planting. Then we do soil blocks.
You start in seed trays, right? Okay, I think, sorry, we've got some reverb now. I think, John, you just joined us. Thanks for joining.
Hi, how's it going?
Welcome. We might be hearing the feed from your computer if you want to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, that's all now. Yeah, nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Can you hear that?
Thomas, meet John. John, meet Thomas virtually.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good.
So I think we're just going to get Felix to translate a bit of what Thomas just said about his farm, and then we'll get you in to do your intro, John.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Go ahead, Felix.
まずフローさんの、庭ではバジルとパクチーがとても多く栽培できてて、冬を通してもパクチーがめちゃくちゃ成長してたと言っていました。そしてトマスは自分の農地畑ではグリーンハウスを使っていて、グリーンハウスに去年からプラをかけるようにして、でグリーンハウスの中にまた小さなグリーンハウスを作ることもあって、それはトマトなどの20度ぐらいの温度がまず種から成長するために必要で、そのような温度に敏感な植物を育て始めるためにとても大事で、カナダでは6月からもうトマトを成長し始めているところもあって、早く栽培できれば早く人の手に渡ってお金が入ってくるので、早く栽培することはとても大切で、夏の間6月8月ぐらいになると種を地面に植えるのがとても難しくなって、なので今の時期からグリーンハウスでその種を成長し始めておいていくことによって、とても効率よく農業ができるとおっしゃっていました。
Okay, good job. Does that sound all right, Thomas? Okay. John, you want to give us a little intro here?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to see what you other farmers have been doing there. Thomas with your real farm and Flo Blaise with your garden. Looks really good. I'm basically a urban farmer up in Tokyo, and I don't have any farm, so to speak, of my own, but I teach people how to grow their own food. And I've been teaching kids and mums and dads and professionals since the earthquake 9 years ago. And I basically teach people how to grow food like our grandparents did, which is basically sunshine and water and nothing else, so no chemicals. And it's been taking off, especially during the last 3 or 4 years, where I've sort of basically moved from teaching school kids to more teaching adults and people that really want to get into sustainability and healthy food, and basically doing good things for the environment. And there's more and more people who are keen to hook into those three things. So things are really taking off now. It's been really good. But I'm sort of really jealous of you, especially Thomas, with your land and your greenhouse. That looks absolutely fantastic. I'd love to have that kind of layout.
So I'm showing some of the photos you sent to me, John. So you've worked hand in hand with Second Harvest. Do you want to introduce them a little bit? They're a really great organization, especially now.
Yeah, Second Harvest Japan Food Bank. They're Tokyo's only food bank. And I've basically been growing my own food in my community garden, which is very close to my family house in North Tokyo. And I've been encouraging other urban farmers to basically grow food where they are, either at home or in their own gardens, and donating some food to Second Harvest Food Bank. So the whole concept is basically grow some, get some. And it's really making a difference, even though it's quite small. Last spring, spring last year, I did about 9 or 10 food donations from my own garden and from different gardens to directly to Second Harvest Japan Food Bank, and they put it on plates and gave it to people that needed it straight away, which is really good.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, Flo and Blaise have introduced their small garden. Did you see any of that?
I did, yeah. That looked really good. Especially hearing that the whole backyard was covered in plastic. That's amazing what they've done. Really good.
Thanks.
Really, really good. Yeah. No, that's amazing what you can do with just with a little bit of soil. Absolutely amazing what you can do with just a little bit of soil. It can be so productive. It's absolutely amazing.
And I noticed they've got the raised planters, like you work with your rooftop gardens as well. You often make the planters. You find that really useful?
Yes. Raised gardens, I find they're the next best thing to having a ground garden, because they can be big enough that the plants actually think that they are in the ground. So if they think that they're actually in the ground, then they will hopefully grow to their full size. As opposed to if you grow plants in pots and planter boxes, where if the root system is constricted, then the plants won't grow to their full capacity, their full size.
You had a great story the other day about bonsai plants.
Yeah, that's basically the whole principle. That if you put and the bonsai trees basically they don't grow very big, because the container that they're in is usually either a small tray or a tiny pot, and because their root system's constrained, they never grow very big. But I think that if you put a bonsai tree into the ground, then they'll grow full size like a normal tree.
Yeah, that's great. Have you found it's better with the raised planters, Flo and Blaise? You find that really helpful?
Oh yeah, we tried to grow Brussels sprouts earlier last fall, and it was in a big pot, and it just didn't do very much. And then we planted it in the ground, and then it decided it wanted to grow. That was probably our best example. Yeah, definitely raised beds make a world of difference. I've done container gardening for herbs for years, and they're fine, but they just won't get to their full potential, for what I can tell.
I think the water requirements come into play, because once the roots start filling up the pot, you you're constantly having to water them in ways, and they're waterlogged and not sure that they're getting their proper nutrients. At least with the planter beds, there's actually soil that has nutrients for them.
Do you do any raised beds in your garden, Thomas?
Not particularly raised beds. Yeah, we're mostly growing it all in soil. I've got a few kind of boxes or plant boxes that I will start. We recently redid a shed and got a metal shelf put in, and I had a really old piece of furniture that I could fill, drilled holes in it, and I could fill with soil, and we'll start plants inside of that, and just to try it, because I'd rather not throw it away, and
well, that's a great idea to reuse the old plastic that you can't reuse in any way. I know, John, you get your students to refill their drink bottles and make planters, right?
Yeah. That's a really good way to combine recycling with food production. Just sort of getting kids to cut a 2-liter plastic water bottle in half, and you turn the top half over, and you get them to plant or sow something. In the top half, and then you invert the top half and put it down into the bottom half. And when you water the plant, and the water drains down through the nozzle and gets caught in the bottom half. So you basically that's like a water recycling plastic bottle planter.
I love the idea of using, PET bottles with students, but Thomas, for you, like, you probably find big coolers or old baths or things that you could reuse on your farm.
Yeah, we've done that. We use for water storage here on the farm. We've taken old stainless steel bathtubs that people are throwing away. I think we've got 2 of those
to catch rainwater and use it on your garden.
Yeah, we use it. We've been trying to collect and catch as much rainwater as possible. I can kind of show you this box setup we've got. This is it.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I've got some straw, and what I filled it with a compost that we've made on the site, and then I put down some cardboard to keep the weeds that are in that compost still. I've put that down, and then I filled up with some seeding fertilizer, and then added some straw and a little bit of our compost again, and I'm gonna see what we can grow and germinate from here. I've added ginger. Before I was planting, like in this left side where the straw is, I added some ginger stalks or pieces of raw ginger, and then I'm getting them to sprout. And instead of planting those in the field, they'll sprout a few times from the same stalk. So I'll replant that. That's just one example. We've kind of done the same thing, same idea. But with this is a compost pile or box that we've now, that can easily be taken apart, easily be moved around, because we make a lot of compost in and around the farm.
Yeah,
so it's
Flo and Blaise, you also have a compost box, almost just like that, right?
Yeah, we have one compost box right now where we're just throwing everything in. That's all we had before we began to research it more, and so we're going to build Actually, we're going to make this current compost box actual raised bed and put 1, 2, and 3 compost boxes here, so that there'll be one that's working, one that's resting, and one that's ready to go.
Wow, great. Any advice about compost, John or Thomas?
Yeah, I got some. Yeah, I basically make compost tea or liquid tea in a plastic container.
And we've got one of those too.
Really
good.
Yeah, like you just basically just put in your food scraps from your kitchen and any leaves or organic material like like coffee grinds or tea bags, whatever. And then once you make the compost tea, you just the liquid's basically like a really dark brown, really smelly, super concentrated liquid.
It is stinky.
You just basically dilute in your watering container and you pour it straight back onto your garden. So garden basically becomes garden. Old plants basically become food and nutrition for new plants. So it's like recycling there is perfect. It's wonderful.
How about you, Thomas? You do a lot of composting on your farm, right?
Yes. Yeah, we have several piles kind of scattered around the farm. Then once we have the sheep, we have the goats. We need to collect some of there, and a lot of the grasses that we feed them, if they knock it on the ground, they typically don't want to eat. They're kind of picky in terms of that. So if that happens, then we'll just pile some of those grasses up, plus mulch, and we also use a lot of wood chips as well, and we try to get the right ratio of the grasses and wood chips, and then we'll just build that up and then sit a few months and then maybe turn it over once or twice. For teas, I haven't made much compost tea. We have purchased some extracts, whether it's and these can be made as well, like a fish emulsion, like liquid. It's a liquid fertilizer or liquid compost tea, I think, and we use that occasionally as well on some of our crops. But I'd really like to get into more of using some of these compost teas. Those are the main things we're using right now.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Felix, should we get some translation in here? It's been a while. You want to just choose a couple points?
Could you repeat how to make the compost teas, John?
Yeah, compost tea. It's you basically start with a plastic container that basically looks like a
here it is.
A normal rubbish bin.
Where are you? Okay, gotcha.
And, these containers have a tightly sealed top just to keep the smells in. And you basically put in whatever organic, natural
kitchen waste, yeah?
Yeah, kitchen waste, garden waste, old leaves, anything that can break down into a material that's not going to poison you, hopefully. And bokashi, which is the system that I use, you basically have a packet of bokashi powder that you sprinkle onto the material that you put into your bokashi compost maker, and that powder helps the material to break down, and that takes usually about 3 months, I found, from when you start to put stuff into your composter until you actually have the compost tea coming out the tap at the bottom. It takes about 3 months, and the composting process speeds up as it gets warmer outside.
Is that what you guys found as well, Flo and Blaise?
We're able to get like a fair bit of the tea out.
Can we see any of the tea coming out now? Can you
yeah, Blaise was just gonna wait to see what we've got. We just took out some the other day. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yes, it's light.
Yeah, we just took out some other day, so there's not very much now. But
and then
it is stinky.
It's stinky, and you dilute it with water and put it in the
we have
watering.
We have a watering can that we use to.
Said watering can. Ta-da.
Great.
So you just sprinkle that all over the plants as you would with water?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same. Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah. So it's like a natural fertilizer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, ジョンさんは、さっき入ってきたジョンさんは、東京でアーバン農家です。で、人に果物をどうやって成長させたり、どうやって栽培するのかを教えていて、もともと たちにどうやって栽培をするんだろうということを教えていたけど、その子供から大人にだんだん多くの人に教えるようになりました。で、この人たちにサステイナブルな農法を使って教えています。で、ジョンさんは東京で暮らしていて、そんなに土地がないから、トマスの農地がとても羨ましいです。で、ジョンさんは、その人が、その場所で、自分の庭だったり、どこでも、栽培できるところでは栽培をしようっていう呼びかけをしていて、で、セカンドハーベストという団体に自分の栽培した作物をあげて、その作物が直接人の食べ物と人々に食料を与える団体として使われるので、とてもそれはいいことだと言っていました。で、ジョンさんは盆栽の例を例えて、ポットの中に物を育てると、そんなに、本当に制限されて成長する、大きさが小さくなるけど、そこだ、上げ床農法を使うと、その地面にいると、作物は思って普通に最大の大きさで成長するので、スペースがなかったら上げ床を使って栽培するのがとてもいいと言っています。で、ジョンさんは子供たちに教えるときに2リットルのペットボトルを半分に切らせて、で、上半分をに土とか入れて作物を種を入れさせて、その上半分を下半分の中に突っ込んで、で水をあげると、その下半分にフィルターされた水がたまるので、その水を使ってまたリサイクルできるという教えて、サステイナブルに農業をするのはこういうことだよと教えています。で、トマスはステンレススチールの風呂を使って雨水を取ったりしていて、で、自分の底建て上げ床のところでは生姜を入れていて、藁と雑草とコンポストを同時に使って農業をしています。で、最後に溶液状になったコンポストティーと言われるものはバケツみたいなものにキッチンのゴミ、卵の殻、生ゴミなどを入れて、それを3ヶ月ぐらいコンテナの中に放置すると、臭い茶色いどす黒い液状になったものが出てきて、でそれをまた植物にあげることによってナチュラルな養分、ナチュラルにファーティライジングしていくことができるので、とてもゴミを再利用できてとてもいい方だと言っています。Okay.
Thank you. So how about we get everybody to make a recommendation? What would be a good thing to plant now if people want to try something on their terrace or in their garden? What seeds should they go and buy and just try it? What do you think, John, Thomas, Flo, and Blaise?
Yeah, okay. First things first, it's spring, so pretty much anything will grow. Key things is tomatoes and cucumbers are only basically spring and summer plants, so they're ready to go now. Seedlings should really be planted by now. And tomatoes, if you plant a tomato seedling now, you should be picking tomatoes within about 2 months, if that. They seem to be growing faster because the climate's getting warmer. But besides those climates, you're talking herbs, spinach, radish, lettuces, cabbage, broccoli, you name it. But if you're growing at home on your balcony, for example, the sunlight's really important. And if your balcony or veranda doesn't get much sunlight, for example, no more than about 3 or 4 hours direct sunlight, don't bother with tomatoes. On these climbing plants, they need a lot of direct sunlight to produce the fruit. But any green leafy vegetables, they don't need so much sunlight. If you have just like 2 or 3 hours of direct sunlight on your green leafy vegetables, which is pretty much as lots of them, then you should be good to go.
Great. How about you, Thomas? Any advice? People should be planting now?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. All of those things, I think like lettuces and kale, and especially herbs. I think a lot of the reasons why people tend to farm or garden is to save money on certain things, and crops that are can be quite costly, like your herbs, like basil, for example, or like dill, fennel, things you like to use and you want to use often. And I think something that's close to your kitchen is great, so that way you can use it and it's as fresh as possible. And that would also go for leafy greens and things like baby kale. These crops can mature in 40 to 60 days as we get warmer temperatures going. So I would recommend that. And, and I would also say, I know that we can easily go to the home center, and maybe people are a little nervous about planting seeds and, will it grow? And so then they buy, like, I've seen, a pack, 3 or 4 lettuce plants, can cost the same price as a packet of 50 to 100 to 200 seeds. So, don't be afraid to grow more than you know what to do with, because chances are you'll probably be pretty happy with the result. So I recommend looking into that and seeing what seeds you can get, and trying those kinds of plants out, because they grow quick and they're great to have for salads and fresh food.
Great. How about you, Flo and Blaise? You got any advice for something you're going to try to grow or you would recommend growing this time of year?
As a house farmer or gardener,
yeah,
because they don't have a lot of space to sit there, and they go bored watching the plants grow. So something that's probably interactive may be good. Something that's fast. The green peppers, tomatoes, the snow peas are in Japan. Hell, 6 of them are like 300 yen. So you get your money back and it's fine at the same time.
When we first started this last summer, all of our herbs were basically augmenting, like Thomas was saying, our regular meals. The basil, especially the cilantro, always as a topping because we love it. Cilantro is harder to grow, I've experienced, but here it's great in the ground. But basil, I would go with basil, and if you like it's not so much for eating it necessarily, unless you do a lot of roasting, but rosemary just can survive almost anything from what I can tell. And I just like to touch it. Touching it makes me happy because it smells nice, and it makes it just, I don't know, it grounds me. So rosemary is easy.
Yeah, wonderful. Good. Felix, you want to try translating some of that?
Yeah. 今の時期に育てるのにおすすめする植物や栽培する植物は、ジョンさんは春に物を栽培するのは結構いい時期で、夏に向けて キュウリとかトマトの今の時期に種を植えて、夏になるとそれを取るという形でやって、で、ハーブとかレタスなどなどをおすすめする。で、家でそれほどスペースがなくて、で、太陽が当たるか当たらないかでとても差がついて、トマトなどを栽培したいのならば、とても日の当たる場所が良くて、その日が当たらなかったら、その実がならない。実がなってもとても小さくなるから、それは、そういう日がよく当たらない場所では、レタスなど、緑色の葉がいっぱいついている植物がとてもいいと言っています。で、トマスさんは、人々は金の節約、そしてフレッシュで使えて食べれるものを追い求めているので、レタス、ケール、ハーブ、バジル、ディルなどのいろいろ料理で使えるものがとてもおすすめしていて、で、暖かくなるにつれてベビーケールなど、とても早く40日くらいで作れるものがいっぱいあるので、ホームセンターなどに行ってどんな種があるのだろうか、どんなものが育てられるかなって考えることでも楽しいと思うから、まずはホームセンターとか行って、種をいっぱい植えてみて、どうなるか見てもいいかなと言っています。で、最後にブレイズとフローさんは、スペースがないから、スペースがないし、自分の庭で植えるには、早く成長するものの方が楽しいから、スノー豆とピーマンなど、早く成長するものがいいと言っていて、で、いつも食べ物のトッピングとして使えるバジルなどはとてもいろんな用途があって使いやすいからそれをおすすめしていて、ローズマリーはとても強くてとても簡単に成長して栽培できるから、で、匂いもいいし肌触りもいいからそれもおすすめします。はい。
Okay, good job. So I think we'll end it there. It's just over an hour now. Thank you everybody so much for joining today's discussion, and I hope we can do it again in a few months' time when the temperatures change and the conditions change. And I appreciate everything you guys are doing, growing food without chemicals that helps our communities, and really want to cheer for you guys. And thank you so much, Flo and Blaise. I'm so impressed with your garden. You're going to inspire me to get out to my small patch out there today.
Thank you.
And when I publish this, I'll put loads of links to all of you guys' web pages and information. And I really appreciate you sharing your stories and advice and information. I hope this inspires people to get out there and try to grow some of their own food, right?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, translator. Good job.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. どういたしまして。
All right, everybody, have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
さよなら。